So I've been playing a lot of retro games lately, and I don't know what it is, but I've been wanting to go back and experience gaming in the 80s. While I was growing up, my family had an old NES. We were never in the habit of buying new consoles every generation, so while I was playing my family's hand-me-down NES, the Super Nintendo had already been out for a while by then, the actual console generation I was born in. Anyways, I have a lot of fond memories playing games like Duck Hunt, holding the gun as close to the screen as possible, playing games like Castlevania, Megaman, getting my ass kicked, and Super Mario. Even though most of those games I was never able to beat, how could I? I was barely able to sing my ABCs, let alone play some of the hardest games ever created. But still, it doesn't change the fact that this console is one I hold very close. But today I want to talk about new experiences that the NES has to offer. Rom hacks, fan games, emulators. I feel like there's no better time to revisit 80s gaming than 2025. And trust me, we have some awesome games to talk about today. But enough wasting time, let's get straight into it. Anyone getting into ROM hacks should definitely check out Deadpool. And I say that because I know there's a lot of ROM hacks out there that have bullshit difficulty. But Deadpool is surprisingly playable, which is kind of funny considering it's a ROM hack of Ninja Gaiden, one of the hardest games ever made. So don't worry, you shouldn't have to save state every few seconds like some of these ROM hacks out there. Holy shit, man. Some of these hackers forget that average people don't have thousands of hours in games like Ninja Gaiden. I mean, let me tell you. Not to say I didn't throw a few save states down throughout my playthrough, don't get me wrong, it's still challenging, but very doable. Deadpool is also funny as hell too. They capture his character perfectly without it coming across as cringe. Almost every cutscene, I had a smirk on my face while reading it. They're your typical slides with text, but they're filled with so much character, I wanted to get through the levels as fast as possible so I could see what would happen next. I won't spoil it, but there was a joke about GameStop that resonated with me so much that it actually had me laughing. You also get a really cool arsenal of weapons, from machine guns to heat-seeking missiles to bombs that wipe the entire screen of enemies. My favorite is this spin slash, it just cuts through everything it touches. The only downside though is that these weapons might be a little too overpowered. I mean, those heat-seeking missiles, if you want to make the boss fights absolute pushovers, you could just sit there and spam missiles at them. It was only when I ran out of ammo that I actually needed to think about things like memorizing attack patterns and stuff like that, but it didn't really take away from the experience. I got my ass thrown into death pits by that obnoxious knockback enough times to where the bosses felt like, little breathers here and there. Deadpool is just an amazing fan project, and probably one of the best NES ROM hacks out there. Ninja Gaiden and Deadpool? I can't believe how well they go together. Super Mario 3 Mix, created by Captain Southbird, is a huge ROM hack just bursting at the seams with content. When I heard this game had remixed levels, I thought that was it, just a bunch of SMB3 levels, but remixed. First world, it kind of felt like that. A little underwhelming. Kinda made me wonder, why do so many people hype this ROM hack up so much? It's not until you beat World 1 when it starts moving in a wildly different direction. Because 3 Mix not only pays homage to SMB3, it's a love letter to the entire franchise. We have remixed levels from Super Mario Bros. 2 to Super Mario World to Super Mario Land to even more modern levels inspired by Sunshine and Luigi's Mansion, even Galaxy. So if you ever wondered what SMB Galaxy would look like to play on an NES, well, here it is. These themes even come with their own unique gameplay mechanics that add so much variety to the stages, you always feel like you're doing something different. In 3 Mix, you can play as Mario, Luigi, and Toad. I can't remember, but I think you could play as Luigi in SMB3. It's been so long, but I definitely don't remember playing as Toad. They don't have their own mechanics though, it only changes the character's appearance, so sadly, you can't jump extra high as Luigi. There's new power-ups too, like the penguin suit letting you turn enemies to ice, the bunny suit if you remember 6 golden coins on the Game Boy. So many cool boss fights too, man. You can collect star coins as well, which reminded me of New Super Mario Bros. When it was actually new. It really encourages exploration and creates a ton of replayability. And yes, you can even go back to previous worlds through the Star Road and replay previous levels if you want to go back and collect them all. What I love the most about SMB3 Mix is the difficulty. Just like the original game, it isn't straight up bullshit. Again, and just like Deadpool, I appreciate when hackers don't go for the masochistic approach and keep normal players in mind when designing these games. 3 Mix is so well paced I never ran into any random out of nowhere difficulty spikes, and the level design is so good it feels like something officially made by Nintendo. Also, you get to ride on Yoshi, which automatically makes this game ridiculously awesome. Playing SMB3 Mix is like discovering a hidden sequel that you never knew about. And that's not an exaggeration, it truly feels like a worthy successor to one of the greatest games ever made. And if I ever want to go back and replay 3, well, this is the one I want to come back to. Rogue Dawn is a prequel to the first Metroid game leading up to the events of Ridley stealing the Metroid. But this time, you're on the bad guys team. You play as Dawn Aran, which is weird considering she looks suspiciously similar to Samus Aran. You know, the last name and all, no relations. Anyways, you're tasked with infiltrating the planet and stealing the Metroid specimen. And I have to say, man, this whole art style thing it has going on is really atmospheric. I almost want to call it a total conversion mod rather than a hack, because outside of the reskin enemy sprites, you can hardly tell it's running on the original Metroid. But this graphics overhaul does come with a downside though. There were a few areas in the game where it suffered slowdown, which can be really annoying. I mean, come on, some of these games are in their 40s. This shouldn't be a thing when emulating NES games. But I guess that slowdown was kind of built into these games, you know? I did use RetroArch's quick NES core, and I think it's helping. I don't know, but it didn't detract from the experience overall. I just hope someday in the future maybe Rogue Dawn gets ported to Metroid Planet's engine. Just imagine the game with all new animations running at a solid frame rate. That'd be so awesome. But anyways, outside of its art style that doesn't even look like it would have been possible on the NES, the music has to be one of the best things about this game. It gave me that same atmospheric feeling that I got from playing Super Metroid for the first time, as well as those more catchy tunes. As soon as you leave your dropship and start spelunking inside of SR-388, that music does not let up. You even have an on-screen map that you can pull up with the start button to help you navigate this maze of a world, which is the main reason I could never get into the first Metroid, because there was no map. I felt like I had to have a guide open at all times. Plus we got Zero Mission on the GBA, so I never felt like I had to go back to experience the series in its entirety. I also want to add that these boss fights, well, they can be extremely brutal if you're not thoroughly exploring for power-ups beforehand. So if you run into an egregious difficulty spike, especially with a certain pogo stick motherfucker, that's your sign that you haven't explored enough. Overall though, Rogue Dawn is a must-play ROM hack for any Metroid fan, and I wouldn't mind calling it canonical for how well done it is. After all, AM2R is an official Metroid game, so why can't Rogue Dawn be one too? Moving on, I want to talk about Megaman No Constancy, which is a complete overhaul of Mega Man 2 with all new graphics and everything. Just look at this character sprite. It resembles the Mega Man sprites from the X series. Sadly though, I can only recommend this game if you're really damn good at Mega Man. This game filtered the shit out of me, but I'm putting it on the list anyways because it's most likely because I have skill issues. No Constancy has consistently been praised by the fan community, so it would kind of be disingenuous for me to leave it out just because I suck ass and had to drop multiple save states throughout every single damn screen. And I wasn't even playing the hard version. This game has multiple versions, and I was on the normal one, getting my ass massacred every 5 seconds. So if you guys have any recommendations, let me know in the comments because I had no trouble playing the original Mega Man games, but holy shit, No Constancy is one tough bastard. Now let's talk about Mother 25th Anniversary Edition. This ROM hack completely rebalances the first game, and if you know me, I'm stubborn as hell when it comes to JRPGs. I feel like I have to start from the very beginning of every series, whether it's to catch up with the story or to see how the franchise evolved over the decades. I just can't, especially with Final Fantasy. Even though in my mind, I know they're all self-contained stories that at best are loosely tied to each other, it doesn't matter. I still had to start from the beginning and work my way all the way up the ladder. The problem is that the first Mother game is obnoxiously tedious with high encounter rates. It just turned me off from continuing the rest of the series. Thankfully, now we have the Anniversary Edition, which completely fixes that tedium and makes the game more tolerable. I genuinely want to play through this ROM hack and catch up because just like Chrono Trigger, the Mother games have been constantly recommended to me over the years. Here's one I don't hear a lot of people talk about, and that's The Legend of Zelda Perils of Darkness, which is kind of sad because in a lot of ways, Perils of Darkness, it outshines the original Zelda. First off, we got completely overhauled graphics that basically retouch everything, making it look more like a later 8-bit game on the NES, not quite early 16-bit, but the improvement is definitely noticeable. Brand new dungeons, a bigger world, and more intuitive level design, making it way easier to figure things out without a full guide open at all times. As much as I love the original, playing without some type of guide or walkthrough, it can be a cryptic mess of trial and error. Seriously, I've beaten Zelda quite a few times, and for the life of me, I will never be able to memorize every burnable bush and bombable wall. Perils of Darkness, on the other hand, does a better job at giving the player visual cues within the environment. Like in the later titles, walls you can bomb will have cracks and stuff like that. We also have multiple difficulty modes, which is a really nice feature, and before you call me out, because in the past you've heard me pride myself in playing difficult games, God, this is like a theme of this video by now. Everything from Mega Man X and the Zero series to the Ninja Gaiden games, DMC3, everything that From Software has made, I've played them all. But listen, and I want you to listen real good. Slave Knight Gale, Ishin's final phase in Sekiro, Alma's awakened form in Ninja Gaiden Black, they ain't got shit on the games back on the NES. Before gamers were calling any type of challenge whatsoever the Dark Souls of Dark Souls, we had one difficulty option, and you know what it was called? Bullshit. So you better believe if I'm playing an NES game, ROM hacks especially, if I'm presented with any type of difficulty option that isn't bullshit, I'm taking the bitch way out every single time. I have no shame whatsoever. Anyways, Perils of Darkness is an outstanding ROM hack, and I'd recommend it to anyone, whether you're experiencing the classic for the first time, or you just want a brand new experience that feels like the original. Okay, so there's also a few other ROM hacks that I wanted to talk about in this video, but I never got the chance to get to them. I was kind of busy playing these other games, plus I wanted to push this video out as fast as possible to please the algorithm gods and all that. And remember, if you have any suggestions, let me know because I'd like to showcase those too in future videos as well. We can help get them in front of more eyes, you know? Anyways, a game called Hellwalker really caught my attention. And this one seems really cool. It's another ROM hack of the original Zelda, and you can even see right here, it looks wildly different. It's a complete total conversion that looks like it takes place in the demon realm. I mean, it is called Hellwalker. Then there's Castlevania The Holy Relics. I've watched multiple top 10 lists of the best Castlevania ROM hacks of all time, and this one seems to show up quite a lot. And we have Zelda 2 Amidas Curse. And this one is another mega hack similar to 3Mix. Apparently it has a shit ton of content, which is really nice. Those old games do tend to be on the shorter side, so something I can really sink my teeth in every now and then is always welcome. I know I probably suck for pushing this video out and not giving these games enough of my time, so in order to make up for it, how about this? What if I told you there's an emulator for the NES that will completely change the way you play these games? I'm talking about 3D Sin. And yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. It takes all of your favorite classics from the NES and converts them into 3D. Seriously, look how damn cool Super Mario Bros. 3 looks on this emulator. It even takes a lot of the sprites and converts them into 3D voxels, adds shadows on things. I just thought this emulator was really neat. And the best part is, you don't have to go fishing on the internet to find it. You can pick this right up on Steam and start playing your ROMs with it right away. I swear, dude, emulators, they've come so far in just the past few years alone. I remember a time when I had trouble running PSP games on my phone. Now I'm sitting here with a damn Steam Deck that could double for a portable PS2. And just when I thought emulation couldn't get any better, I find shit like this where I can turn 2D games into 3D games. I will mention though that this emulator is still in development, so it doesn't support every single NES game, but nearly all of the popular ones are on here, which honestly, that's still amazing. I don't really play a lot of the obscure titles anyways, and before you ask, yes, it even works with the ROM hacks as well, as long as they're ROM hacks of the games that are supported on it. So right here you can see I'm playing Super Mario Bros. 3 Mix. But for super heavy ROM hacks that are complete total conversions, it can be hit and miss. I tried playing Deadpool on 3D Sin and yeah, it just did not look right to me. Anyways, that's it for me. As always, I hope I showed you guys something cool. Oh yeah, if you're still here, why don't I show you a sneak peek of my next video, which was supposed to be part of this video, until I realized I was flying too close to the sun and there was no realistic way I was going to fit all of these in at once. What can I say? I'm still learning basic time management skills.